Hey y'all, it's February the 28th, 2017. Earlier I cut a video regarding confusion, right? Basically gender confusion and gender roles being completely lost upon some of the young males today. Alright, and subsequently how that can lead to further gender confusion all throughout society. Alright, because young males do not know many times how to conduct themselves. They have no idea how a real man acts and behaves, and it causes it's the cause to the effect of all sort of gender confusion. Like, people don't know if they're boys and girls now, and also lots of people think that they're not boys or girls. They're something else, something other than that. They're aliens. Anyways, I cut this video earlier and posted it, and then after that I did a little cleaning and I went out for a walk, which is what I do a lot. Went out for a walk and I was listening to a book, an audio book, and it brought up a certain point that, you know, it tends to get brought up a lot, and I don't speak on it so much, but I thought I would take the opportunity to do so right now. Alright, the audio book was talking about how in certain places, for example, like a New York or a California, you have certain entities who wish to legislate confusion. They wish to sow confusion, and in that, you know, it's been proposed that if you're a person in an established business and you refer to a customer as the wrong pronoun, well, then you should be fined a lot of money for that, maybe even taken to jail. Right? Just to explain briefly, if you don't understand what I mean, if you call someone a boy because they are a boy, and they think that they're a girl, or they think that they're an alien or an elephant or whatever else, then you're wrong for that. All right, you're being very discriminatory, and you should probably think about paying some fines to the government and to the person who you wronged or whatever. All right, this is a real thing, as absurd as it sounds. All right, and so I was thinking about that. And it got me to thinking about West Texas, Big Spring in particular. I've been here for over a year now. And I gotta tell you, I like it. I really do like it here in West Texas, particularly Big Spring. It's a small town. About 30,000 people or so right about now. I like it. That's not to say that there's not very serious economic problems here, and also social problems here. There certainly is. Big Spring is absolutely swimming in drugs. Absolutely it is. Alright, just as an example. But I really, really enjoy it here for many reasons. And I'm going to go ahead and throw out one right now, is this. People are somewhat rigid here when it comes to these pronouns or whatever. And in that, if I know, or if someone here knows that you are a girl, it is completely obvious by looking at you. More often than not, if they do not know your name, they will refer to you as ma'am. All right, and if they look at you and see that you are indeed a boy, and they do not know your name and they want to be respectful and address to you, they will call you sir here. All right. That is what's going to happen, and it makes me feel very comfortable because let me explain. There are transgender people here. Not very many at all, but they do exist here. There are gay folks here, all right, who sometimes it is hard to tell what they are trying to be as far as a man and a woman. It is kind of hard because they blur the lines. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to look. Fine, it's whatever. Here in West Texas in Big Spring, if I can tell that you're a lady, you're gonna be called ma'am. If people could tell that you're a lady, they're gonna call you ma'am. If they could tell that you're a boy, you're gonna be called sir. And it does not matter how you feel about it. Right? We don't have people here legislating that we call all sort of people purple penguins or whatever they want to be called. No, we don't have time for that. You're a ma'am and you're a sir. All right? There's certain things that just absolutely will not be tolerated here. All right? And you know, in the near future, people are speculating and they're thinking, they're thinking that, an oil boom could be in the future. And if that is the case, you're going to see a lot more people come to Big Spring and a lot of people come to West Texas in general. What I have to let them know is this. It doesn't matter how gay you are or what you're trying to look like. You come here, you're going to be called sir or ma'am regardless of what you like, regardless of how it might hurt your feelings. Right? You can want to kick up dust all you want. It's not going to work here. All right? People do not have time for that. All right? So it makes me feel very comfortable. And I got to say, I grew up in San Antonio, Texas, which is a place where people, they also will call you sir and ma'am. But however, it's not as predominant as it is here in Big Spring. It is much more ubiquitous. People definitely call you sir and ma'am. People have manners. Even if they do drugs and do all sort of stuff in their free time, they will call you sir and ma'am because there are manners. It is etiquette here. All right. Before I get on out of here, I just want to share with you that I was talking to this girl yesterday. And she has spent a lot of time here in Texas, and she also has spent some time over in Georgia. Now, Georgia is a place that, honestly, I've never been there, but people will refer to it as the South, right? Even more so than Texas. For whatever reason, they'll refer to Georgia as being very Southern. Right. Perhaps Texas isn't considered to be as southern, even though it is more closer to the equator. Texas isn't really considered as southern as a place like Georgia. I'm not sure why. Could be perhaps because of the Mexican culture, which is pretty prevalent here in Texas. But anyway, she was telling me about Georgia. All right, and she said that in Georgia, or at least the spot where she was residing at, people sometimes take offense to being called ma'am. I would say especially ladies, maybe not so much sir, but they'll take offense to being called ma'am, and that they feel like you might be calling them old. You might be calling them an old lady by referring to them as ma'am. And it's quite peculiar, but I've heard of this before. All right, and what I have to assure you about West Texas, especially about myself, is this: I don't care what age you are. I probably don't know your name. If I'm seeing you at work or out in the open in public, probably don't know what your name is. All right, does not matter what age you are at all. If I can tell that you probably have a vagina down in there, then you're going to be called ma'am. I don't care if you're a 3 and 4 years old little girl. You're going to be called ma'am. All right, you know why? Because that's respectful. Because that's polite. Because that's showing etiquette. And if you're a young boy, you're going to be called sir. I don't care if you're an extremely old man, you're going to be called sir. You're going to be called sir or ma'am regardless. Right? I don't care if you're transgender. Like, for example, people here in Big Spring, most of them know about this one guy who's referred to as Pretty Ricky, which is it's an ironic name because you know, Pretty Ricky was already like the name of a band. Everybody had heard of Pretty Ricky. But this particular transgender man, he's not good looking. I mean, there are people out there, I see transgender people who they can fool you into thinking that they're ladies or thinking that they're men. All right, this is not a particular case of that. All right, this guy is ugly. All right, he's so ugly that, you know, nobody would possibly confuse him for actually being a girl unless they were sloppy drunk. All right, which is why Pretty Ricky tends to hang out at the bar all the time. All right, that's his method. All right, for getting attention, physical attention. Here's the thing: if you're not sloppy drunk, that's a dude. That's an ugly dude with acne all over his face, trying to pretend to be a lady, not wearing a wig. That might be his hair and stuff, but just tucking it in and you know, going about his business. That person approaches me at work or anywhere else, he's going to get referred to as a sir. I don't care. I don't have time to play with you. All right, I know what you got tucked down in there. You're gonna be called sir, regardless. All right, that is the culture that is very accepted here, and that's why I feel very comfortable here. All right, and it doesn't matter what age you are. The thing is, I don't have time, and most people here do not have time to try and figure out what gender you think you are. All right, and you know, I just wanted to let y'all know, for anybody who might be looking for a place where you know it's not frowned upon to be respectful and to call people by what they obviously are, you might want to look into West Texas. All right, all those who you have no idea what gender you are, you want to force your lifestyle down everybody's throats, you might not want to come to West Texas at all. Right, because people do not have time for that. On another note, before I get out of here, on a completely different note, you ain't gonna see very many Muslims around here. All right, this isn't a place where you can just infiltrate and force your lifestyle on people. Like the very last place that you want to create like a Dearborn, Michigan situation is here in Big Spring. Right, because they're set in their ways, they're set in their culture, and they will talk about you. All right, no one's going to turn a blind eye to you. No one's going to act overly polite to you simply because you're different. Nah, they're going to make note of you, and they're going to talk about you. There aren't hardly any Muslims around here. That's not to say that Muslims are bad people in general. They do not come here. Right, and if they do come here, they come here individually. They do not come here as groups, all right, because there would be zero tolerance for it. Zero tolerance. Tolerance is a bad thing, by the way. Anyways, I'm going to holler at y'all later. I'm going to let y'all get out of here. And I got something very serious to holler at you about later. So, anyways, stay tuned. This is February the 28th. 2017.